ne, mogu da te signaliziram na 5 minuta ili...
Ne bi trebalo.
Okay, our next speaker is Miroslav Marinkovic. He's an experienced banking sector expert with proven business result in sales, team leadership, project implementation with key expertise in digitalization, business process management, product development, team leadership, and sales management and training. He also has more than 10 years of experience in analysis of the banking sector and macroeconomic environment and constant cooperation with leading experts in the field of macroeconomics. He joined Comtrade Systems Integration Belgrade 2 years ago with the aim to contribute toward expansion of company solution for financial industry and foreign markets. He's also an entrepreneur and founder of a company named Econoversa. And today he's going to talk about digital revolution in banking.
Thank you. Thank you all for, first of all, investing your time in Cryptica and this data science conference, and especially in this presentation. Just come back to the first slide, sorry. First of all, to shortly once more introduce myself. I was working 14 years in a banking sector with the fortune to, at really early stages of my life, come to some executive position and to work on a really interesting projects. Banking sector is really fast developing sector and sector which is constantly consuming the new technologies. I will give you just one short example. In my career, one of the first things that I needed to defend in front of board of directors was contactless card. And in that moment, plastic for contactless paying was 7 times expensive than regular plastic. And all the board of directors said, this is your last coming to us with these kind of stupid things, expensive things. 5 years ago, whatever left from that kind of payments was notice to our lovely friends in restaurants. I want to pay with swipe. Of course, it's contactless. So banking is always something which is consuming the new energy. So artificial intelligence is again something which is really expected to be as much as present in banking sector. So today I will make a quick recap. What was the evolution of AI? What are the key artificial intelligence machine learning practice today in banking? What we maybe need to reevaluate with this, you will see. And in the last part, I would like from you to jointly with me answer on a couple of questions how we all see banking and artificial intelligence in banking. So professor also made very good examples how it started. Let me just quickly walk through to the banking in period 70s to 90s, starting with the World Wide Web, etc. Some kind of rule-based models, some kind of prediction models were used, especially in the risk, slightly in marketing, but it was machine learning. It was not artificial intelligence. And sometimes we need to go back to the foundation. When you speak with the bankers, definition of artificial intelligence is it's some kind of robot or an agent who can learn, and then based on the learning, he can make proposal and the decisioning on a reasonable doubt based on the data. So that's, let's say, our definition. So in the 70s till the 90s, it was machine learning, rule-based procedures, not artificial intelligence. Then in 2000s, with the entering of mathematics, physics, etc., much more deeper in finance, you have machine learning approaching to the artificial intelligence, making the models that can perform stress testing of the portfolio, providing you the guidelines what and how to do, and providing you a suggestion for a decision. Not a decision, but a solid ground-based decision. Still not full as artificial intelligence. But these days, you have a lot of things going on. And for example, it's not the thing that it is now the first circle 20 years. The second, okay, maybe 10 years. On the third circle, we can speak about the differences in approaches even on a weeks. So imagine last week and even this week's Microsoft OpenAI talks. You cannot imagine how many members of board of directors of the banks from our region called me and said, what you are going to do? We entered into the project. You promised this, I expect this, what is going to happen? So even on a daily basis now we have an impact of artificial intelligence in the banking. And today the expectations are much more different than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, board of directors will be asking, okay, can you provide some kind of calculation that our portfolio will go up or down if the macroeconomic environment is going like this or something like that. Today he is asking, can we have a one line, give me the credit appraisal evaluation for Miroslav, and one line saying, yes, you can approve and this amount. That's they are asking, and that is why, what are the decision makers expecting from artificial intelligence as a contribution toward their business. So that's generally okay, but what we now have in a practice, this is the slide what is really projects and going on in the banks, even in our region. Large language models, ChatGPT, etc., for various reasons, for various practical implementations in the banks, especially for the marketing, especially for the CRM things, for things that where the banks are willing to use the open sources. We will later speak about boundaries and ethics. Also, in procedures of knowing your client and knowing your business, using the biometrics, etc., the artificial intelligence has pretty good practical usage in the banking sector and really solid improvement in last couple of years on that. Also, for the risk management, let's say they first started and now they are really consuming this kind of data. Of course, they are still not letting fully robots and agents to make a decision, but they are really using it as a guidelines, as an early warning system, as a early guidelines where to go. And I like to say it when I speak with the board of directors, I said, okay, this tool will guide you like Google Maps guide you to your vacation to Greece. So, are you using Google Maps? Yes. Okay. Are you preparing your trip and your decision regarding the trip by that tool? Yes. Okay, then understand what artificial intelligence tool will provide to you and use it on a proper way, on a best possible marginal contribution to the best possible decision and revenues. And the risk managers and CROs are somebody who is always raising their heads, oh, let's go to these kind of projects, because they are aware of data and also they want to use their data to try to predict risks and then decisions that may come from that. Also, artificial intelligence CRM tools You know the case from the public networks, that you have a chatbot, you have an agent, virtual agent performing, answering the call, answering the questions of a client. These days, there are really strong solutions that it is really responsive, and the agent, artificial-based, large language model-based agent is also communicating with the client, selling the products. So proactively speaking, not only as a reaction to where is my card, when is going to be my inflow. So those are the 4 examples really in practice. In something which is still maybe not fully in line and fully operating in the bankings are predictions models, not only from the stress testing, but behavioral of the clients, predicting what are the seasonality of the consumption of some goods, so that you can go, for example, at something called consumption banking. So predict that Miroslav is in Sava Center, Congress Center, and then the bank who is cooperating with the Sava Center Business Center will send me, hey Miroslav, we have a client of the bank who has excellent store in Sava Center. You are by your geolocation in this room, go see their discounts. And those kind of things as a predictive model, where I will be and how I will be behaving, will guide me for my financial services. Of course, for the operational efficiency, you know, it's always in the banking is revenue. It's a profit, and profit comes from the sales. But there is also really strong space that operational efficiency may be reduced by using artificial intelligence. And the thing is that, you know, if it is used, does it mean that people will be left out of their job? And you have a very strong campaign. I wouldn't want to put it on the slide, but it was said, artificial intelligence will take out my job. But then it says on the next level. So all of us, we need to understand that this will boost our job. We didn't lose our job because of the mobile phone. I now have a really strong issue in my house explaining to my 5-year-old kid that I was standing up from the chair and making change of the channels. Dad, that was stupid. Why? There were no phones. There were no chance to change it from your chair. We didn't lose our jobs because we have a mobile phones. Nobody closed card departments because we have contactless card or mobile payments. So for all of us to understand, artificial intelligence is a chance, not a risk for all of us. In a world of cyber risk, cyber security, etc., really now there is a lot of questions from the banks. Okay, please, can we do something to prevent cyber attacks? Can we use artificial intelligence to save us from something, to predict some things and to save us from a cyber attacks? Can we perform internal things, internal attacks to see how the vulnerability of our systems are? And the last thing, and professor made really good points of this ECG, carbon footprint, etc. If we use artificial intelligence for creating of products, investment programs in banking, it could also be huge benefits for us. So that's a practice. But, you know, through this presentation, there are some things that are always mixing people with a robot, with an agent, with a computer. So for example, there is also always asking, okay, is it artificial intelligence for the employees or for the clients? What should come first? And I had a very good experience to work in a transformation period of the banks. And in one moment, we understood that there is no chance to pursue the client to use a card or e-banking if our employees are not using. So let's do it also again, because still in banking, the generation who is, first of all, making decision, second of all, working, is decision of, born in 70s and 80s. And we are afraid to start to use some things until we have a strong personal experience. So, suggestion for all of you who are implementing, who are speaking inside of your banks about artificial intelligence, don't go into the project CRM, artificial intelligence chatbots first. Maybe first use those kind of large language models into your procedures that your employees can be onboarded on the procedures, on the daily works, on the know-hows through this. Shorten the period of onboarding the employee into your system. Then it will be much easier to onboard clients on the artificial intelligence projects and products that you had. Also, by reevaluating the approach of artificial intelligence, banking sector is not only that are facing with a couple of really strong challenges. First of all, ethics. Combining with GDPR, saying, still in GDPR you are having the clause that says you cannot make a decision based on a machine learning behavior analysis without involvement of the people. I'm rephrasing, of course, but still, and now these days GDPR framework is changing, but really it comes to who rejected me, people or machine, and why? Do they understand my issue? And I'm sure that tell me how many of you, for example, for buying a house, wants to speak with somebody. I presume a lot of you wants to say, to hear what are all the papers I need to collect, what is the best path. So it will be challenging to adopt that. Also, we have a combination of technical issues. What about data? Large language models are working on what? If my procedures are not clear, and if I'm using the narrow scope of data, how can I design something? Is it only on my tenant, or I will use the open databases? And for example, if my employee is asking what to sell next to the client, are we going to use ChatGPT, open, or only based on data which are in the bank? And how to prevent that some huge misleadings and huge ethics will not arise if we say, whew, the best sell, if I know all the market, it will be much better for me to sell. But those then, how I'm sure that the evaluation of ChatGPT are performed on the type of client which is sitting in front of me. So plus the thing is where it is. Is it on really only my tenant? Is it open? What the regulator will say, etc. And the regulator challenge is something which is really currently in this region a huge issue. Is you need to have for auditing, for giving the comments, you need to have a person fully understanding full of scope. And sometimes currently banks are facing with a issue that auditing of some things in banking made and performed by artificial intelligence is really strict due to the fact that a regulator does not have enough knowledge to audit that. And that's something which preventing the banks for some kind of huger investment, because they're saying, okay, if we invest and implement, when regulator comes, we will have an issue to explain what and how we did it. So those are the things for evolution and reevaluation. And I would now ask all of you for a couple of things and to enter in Q&A phase. First of all, let's have a consent. Do we see it like this, that artificial bank of the future is private experience bank? Can I have a raise of hands? Is it something that you expect as a client? Okay. But how it is feasible and presented really in a practice? Is it artificial intelligent bank with a nice robot, with a full digitalized branch, with or without couple of people standing on some spotlight? For example, one of the largest groups said that they will open tomorrow morning here in this building one of the most modern branches that this region have ever said. And I asked, okay, how many people inside? 17. Oof. Okay, but it's a little bit confusion for me. So when we talk about the future and revolution of artificial intelligence in the banks, is it artificial bank on some kind of address or no bank? I have a personal assistant somewhere in a phone, in a glass, somewhere. And what we are all for? First one or the second one? I am for the second one because currently I manage some things in my life, so I don't need to have another housing loans, another car loan, etc. But I'm not sure for the youngsters that are artificial intelligence lovers. Still those kind of lovers wants to have a direct contact and say, what are the papers that I need for buying a house or a flat? So it will take time much faster than ever, but again, personally, I am for number 2, but that's my situation. And so generally, conclusion is it will be very tough to make a decision. Is it fully digital, no paper, no human branch, but with a place or no bank? And the last question from my side is, are we ready for something like this? So let's think about this when we talk about artificial intelligence in banking as a revolution of a financial service. Thank you all. Questions?
So Miroslav, a very interesting talk. So I have a couple of questions. So first question is, do we have in Serbia or the region, but you don't need to name the names of the banks, if there is any bank where there is in fact implemented and possible to get completely personalized offer to the clients?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, any issues regarding the data.
Okay, so that's my second question is, do you see basically better organization of data and also people learning how to use the data as an important challenge?
Of course, that's the most challenging thing because there is a lot of data in the banks.
Yeah.
But unfortunately not systematically ordered and so systematically stored that you can use it. So everybody has payment transaction overview in some kind of reports. But then when you ask, okay, for a credit appraisal decision, I want to see if my client is, for example, gambling. Yes, we have that in our payment operation system. Okay, show me the metadata that I can extract and import in the model. No, it's not like that. Where it is, you can call the lady, she can print it out and highlight it with a yellow mark. And that's an issue. And now banks are changing the behavior, saying, okay, we need to have data to make a decision. So when one of the leading banking experts in region asked me, Miroslav, let's sit together and in 2026 make one line credit appraisal, give me credit evaluation of Miroslav, and second line, yes, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 euros. I asked him, okay, where is your data team? And he asked me, well, why? And that's an issue. And so we need to, as through the whole history, change ourselves and our approach to some subject to get and gain from it.
First of all, thank you for such an insightful presentation. At the very beginning, you mentioned that you faced a lot of rejection of the advanced ideas when you first started going into the field. What would you say the situation is now? Do you think that now in the positions of leadership, in management boards, we have people who are maybe overly excited about AI without actually understanding what is behind it, you know, perceiving it as magic and trying to push it in every single layer of banking, maybe even unnecessarily so? Or do you think that we are still in this phase where these ideas are being rejected?
It's starting to be polarized. So there is a strong wave of people understanding, has anxiety about artificial intelligence, but coming back to the foundation as I presented. Let's do this. Okay, where is your data team? Where are your data? Oh, I understand. Let's go 2 steps behind. Let's form something, because he still believes that it should be go. On a second part is, no. Due to economic situation, average salaries, etc., this region should not go that way, and there is no such a calculation of a return of investment to go in that direction. It's artificial intelligence, it's cloud computing, and also really, it's sorry to say like that, but strong ponder on approach is a regulator. You know, when you speak, it's strictly regulator sector, and you need to account that in your decisioning. And if you account that, do they understand what I'm doing? So that's and let me focus on some other revenue streams and investment streams I will put aside. But starting to polarize and the number of board directors and number of executive manager speaking positively about artificial intelligence and applied artificial intelligence bank is rising day by day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Again.